I'm Daniel Linder, marriage family therapist, addiction specialist, relationship trainer, and the creator of the relationship model of addiction. So I'm going to do a couple of things today. I want to give you a little update in terms of what I talked about last week, my divine intervention, and tell you how I'm doing with that, because I've just begun my recovery from food addiction. And also I'm going to get back to the self-revolution and give you a specific example of how being other-centered can affect the relationship in a negative way, just sabotage it completely. So, okay, so divine intervention, my food addiction. Okay, well, I'm back. I'm not in an altered state right now. I'm myself, so transitioning back to reality and just dealing with the everyday of my relationship with food and my consumption of food. So overall, I'm very tuned in to being in recovery. The contrast between being in my addiction and being in not being in my addiction or being in recovery is very clear to me. Had some periods where I couldn't tell whether I was craving food or hungry, and may have overeaten a little bit more or have eaten because food was there. However, it was good food. I have been successful staying away from pizza, cheese, bread, sugar, haven't had any candy, any of that junk food, and processed foods. So doing really well with that, and that's the update. Okay, so back to the self-revolution and talking about the shift, the paradigm shift from other-centered relating to self-centered relating and the difference it makes. So I'm going to talk to you today about, I'm going to apply that and talk about what I have seen to be the most common cause of resentment and judgment to the other people, to the person that you're with. So we talked about what I see is one of the biggest problems whenever I see couples where one or both people are really angry or resentful and judgmental towards the other person. They're totally unaware, it's unconscious that that whole process, their own resentments towards the other person comes from unconscious, other-centered relating, and there's often an unmet expectation, and because of the expectations unmet, there's a lot of disappointment and resentment. So, for instance, here's an example. Client reports to me that her husband, they have a newborn, and the baby is a year and a half. So one day the husband, actually before I tell you what he said, the client says to me that, God, my partner, he's always barking out orders to me. He's always wanting something, always needing something, and I have to, do whatever he says. So here, this is how this plays out. So her partner says, you know what, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a set of clothes out for our child, call her Joni. Leave out a set of clothes so I don't have to look for them. I'd really appreciate it if you do that. So she responded to him with kind of sarcasm, kind of a condescending, judgmental tone, maybe a little contempt, like, you mean you can't go in there and do that yourself? And so we started breaking that down. How is it that when he made a very clear request to her, she responded in this contemptuous, condescending, judgmental way, which of course he registers, he gets that, and then feels bad, recoils, withdraws, feels bad about himself, and a distance is created, and a resentment on his part is created. So I asked her, is she aware of her anger or her resentment and judgmental tone? And she said, yeah, but she put it on him because of, that he's always barking out orders and telling her what she has to do. And it didn't, so in the process of talking about it, I was taking her from other-centered to self-centered by asking her, by contrasting. I was doing it for her. I said that if you were self-centered, you would be able to say, you know what, hon? Sure, I'll do that, no problem. Or if she didn't want to do that, say, you know what? I don't think I have the time to do that. I'd rather not do that. It doesn't work for me to do that. I want you to experience the same things that I'm experiencing, and we put, do his part, do your part. I feel we both are operating as equals in a partnership. Something like that. So then she was kind of mulling that over, and then I was asking her, well, where was all the resentment coming from? Where was all the judgments about? And then it came out that she was feeling very unacknowledged and unappreciated by him for a long time, because she found him to be extremely self-centered. It's always about him, and along with that thought process and perception is that sometimes he's needy or demanding or very self-centered. And so we were getting to that her feeling of resentment was coming from being other-centered. She was always complying. She was on automatic and didn't realize that whatever another person wanted, she would accommodate. She's a pleaser. This is how she got her own sense of self and self-worth and well-being, by pleasing other people, only to resent it later when she never got the attention that she was craving. So this is just an example of, remember, the principle here is that most of the time when you find yourself resentful or judgmental towards the other person, it comes down to you not really asking for, being direct and clear about what you're thinking, feeling, wanting, or needing. So that being said, I hope this helps you. You can go out and practice being more self-centered in the world and be part of the self-revolution. And also, I wanted to mention that last week I mentioned this Transitions Relationship group. I also have another group I want to bring up today, and this is a recovery support group which meets on Thursday night, 6:45 to 8:30. So anyone in recovery is welcome. It's a happening group. There are openings for it right now, and I'd love to see you express some interest in doing that. So until then, be well. Remember, the quality of your relationships is the quality of your life.